Good morning, Miss Amanda.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Miss Amanda.
Morning. You're going to need.
Good morning, Miss Amanda.
Good morning, guys. You're going to need your turn practice book, okay? All right, guys, we only have 15 people, so I'm going to give them another minute before I take attendance, okay? Page 291 in the Your Turn practice book, we're going to start. We want to read over the questions while you're waiting for your classmates to join. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take the attendance. When I call your name, please unmute your mic, answer here. Please answer the first time I call your name. Excuse me. Okay, Abdurrahman Kareem.
Here.
Abdurrahman Kareem.
Here.
Hey, you have to raise your voice, Abdurrahman. You're very far from your mic. Okay, Adito.
Here.
Thank you. Basco.
Here.
Thank you. Yad Adel.
Here.
Thank you. Yad Tamer. Hamza. Hamza.
Here. Here.
Muaz.
Here.
Muhammad.
Here.
Mustafa. Mustafa. Omar. Omar. Tahir.
Here.
Thank you. Wahba.
Here.
Yasin. Yasin. Yusuf. Yusuf. ISO. ISO. Farah.
Here.
Farida.
Here.
Jada.
Here.
Jenna? Jenna? Jemana? Jemana?
Here.
Thank you. Leanne?
Here.
Leela? Leela? Medic?
Here.
Pilar? Pilar? Reem?
Here.
Ragnini?
Yes, Miss Amanda.
And Tia. All right, guys, on page 291 in the Your Turn practice workbook. We're going to review the 4 vocabulary words. We're going to do a little bit of practice on the poems, and then we'll do the 2 other poems that are in your book if we have time, okay? All right, our words are gobble, mist, individuality, and roots. Read number 1 for us, please. Farida.
Of course. What do both your family and a tree have in a common? Roots.
That's right, roots. Okay, can you give us a sentence with the word roots?
Sure. I spent time with my family. No, I spent time with my father as an example about and talking about my family's roots.
Okay, that's good. All right, so I spent time talking with my father about my family's roots. Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Our example is I spent an afternoon talking with my grandmother about my family's roots.
It looks similar.
Very similar. All right, read number 2 for us, please, Wahba.
Sure. What is another word for eat very quickly? Gobble.
Gobble, right, to gobble. Can you give us a sentence for the word gobble?
My uncle gobbled the shrimp.
My uncle gobbled the shrimp, okay. All right, so we watched the ducks gobble up all the bread we threw into the pond. So gobble means to eat very quickly. All right, Tahir, can you read number 3 for us, please?
Yes. What is created when you spray a bottle of glass cleaner? Mist.
Mist, that's right. Can you give us a sentence with the word mist?
When I sprayed my perfume, it made mist in the air.
That's very good. Excellent. My grandmother's hairspray made a mist in the air. All right. Can you read number 4 for us, please, Ragmini?
Okay. When you show how you are different from others, what do you show? Individuality.
That's right. Can you give us a sentence with individuality?
Everyone has their own individuality.
That's very good. That's right. And they do. Everyone is unique. He showed his individuality by never wearing socks that matched. So this person likes to wear 2 different socks to make him different than everybody else. I'll give you a minute to finish writing, and then we're going to move on to the next page, okay? Okay, guys, for anybody who did not finish writing, you can check the video today after I post it and finish whatever you missed, okay? Let's move on to the next page. We're going to go to page 296 next. Page 296. Page 296. All right, so we're going to talk now about imagery and personification. Okay, remember, what does imagery mean? Reem, can you tell us? What does imagery mean?
To imagine by saying a word.
No, it's not. We don't imagine by saying a word. What does imagery mean? Try to rephrase it. That's not the correct definition. Try to rephrase it. It's
When someone says a word and you imagine it in your mind.
That's it. So, but it's not when they say it, it's when they write it. It's when a writer uses the words that he's writing to help you create a picture in your mind. When he uses vivid details so that you can see the picture in your mind, okay? Muaz, what does personification mean?
Yes.
Muaz, did you hear the question? What does personification mean, Muaz? Muaz, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, what is personification? We've been
Is
discussing.
giving human qualities to a non-human thing.
That's right. When you attribute a human quality to something that's not human. Like if I say the water danced in the fountain. Water cannot dance, people dance. This is a human quality, that's personification. All right? Jumana, can you read the poem for us, please?
Sure. Me as a mountain. I'm not an island. And on my worst day, I am. Florida, the ocean trumpeting me away from the mainland. States that are my parents. On the days I feel best, I'm the Rocky Mountains. Broad as the landscape filling a window. I command any attention to the horizon.
Horizon. Okay, the horizon is when you stand and look out and everything you can see in front of you from one side of your eyesight to the other side of your eyesight. The land that you see in front of you is the horizon. Okay, so as far as your eye can see. All right. Again, I'm going to repeat the poem. Me as a mountain. I am not an island. On my worst day, I am Florida, the ocean tempting me away from the mainland states that are my parents. On the days I feel best, I am the Rocky Mountains. Broad is their landscape, filling a window. I command any attention to the horizon. Okay, anybody have an idea what the poem is about? What the poem means? What do you understand from it? Muhammad?
Miss, to be fair, I understand nothing.
Okay. Why do you
Like,
have your
I
hand
am not
up
an
then?
animal.
Why are you raising your hand to answer then?
No, I found something in it.
Okay. Let's wait for me to
There's
ask the question,
notifications.
okay? Go ahead, Farah. What do you see in this poem? What,
I see she
sorry,
is
what,
talking
I don't
about.
want examples. I want to know what the poem means. What does the poem,
I see she is talking that she is the Rocky Mountains.
that's right. She says, on the days that she feels her best, when she feels really good about herself, she feels like she's the Rocky Mountains, as broad as the landscape and filling a window. And anybody who looks out there at that horizon is going to look at her because she is something fantastic. Okay? All right. What does she say about her worst day? What can you tell me about her worst day? Leanne?
She said on her worst day, I am Florida.
Okay, so she says, I am not an island. An island means that it's not surrounded by anything. It's not attached to anything on any side. So she's not a loner. She's not a person who should be completely by herself. But on her worst day, when she's feeling bad, she's Florida. And she kind of pulls herself away from the people around her. Okay, so it says, tempting me away from the mainland states that are my parents. So when she feels her worst, she kind of pulls away from the people that are around her. All right, now, number one says, what is an example of imagery in this poem? What's an example of imagery in the poem? Remember, imagery is when the writer uses details to help you create a picture in your mind. I need to see hands. I see the same 3 or 4 people every time I ask the question. There's going to be no participation grades for most of you because you're not participating. So I need you to start raising your hand and taking part in our discussion. All right, Yad Adil, what's an example of imagery in our poem?
Like the writer says, mountains that is broad as a landscape filling window.
That's right. She says, broad is the landscape filling a window. I command any attention to the horizon. So she's describing herself as something majestic, something amazing. Okay, Jenna, do you see another one?
Yes.
Tell us. Is there another one, Jenna?
I
Okay, right. So this is the best description that we have. The rest doesn't actually help us imagine in our mind, right? This is the description that tells us what she looks like. Okay, the writer says that it says he. The writer says that he is a mountain that is as broad as a landscape filling the window. Okay, something fantastic, something amazing. All right, the second question says, point out an example of personification in the poem. We need an example of personification in the poem. Let's see, same people who have answered already today have their hands up. I have half a class sitting at the bottom of the list, not participating. All right, let's see. Adito, tell us, what's personification in our poem?
Uh, the Florida, the ocean tempting.
That's exactly right. The ocean tempting. An ocean cannot tempt. Tempt means that I want to make you do something, or I want to influence the way you think. I want to make you do something I want you to do. This is tempting. Like I'm doing something to make you, like for instance, say I have a bag of candy and I reach in the bag and I say, would you like a piece of candy? And you say, no, I don't want any candy, thank you. And I reach in the bag and I take out a bright red lollipop and I keep waving it in front of you. And I keep saying, are you sure you don't want candy? I am tempting you. I am trying to get you to do what I think you should do by taking my candy, okay? So this is tempting. The ocean cannot tempt. It is not an inhuman quality, it's a human quality. So the ocean tempting the speaker away from the mainland is an example of personification. Okay, the ocean cannot tempt anyone. That's something that humans do. All right, question number 3. It says, write another stanza that includes imagery and personification. Does anybody have an idea that they can add to our poem? If you can add something to the poem, and we can write another part that has personification or imagery. This is where you are very creative. All right, Reem, go ahead. Tell us what can you add?
But should include use of imagery and personification.
Okay, that's the answer that's in the book, but that means that your answer should have imagery and personification in it. That's not the answer to the question. It means that whatever answer you give has to have imagery or personification in it. How are you guys getting copy of my answers? That's what the question I want to ask, because many of the answers today were very similar to my question. My answers in my book. All right, Ragmini, what can you add to our poem?
I command any attention to the horizon.
Okay, you want to add what?
It has an imagery.
No, it's not asking for, look at the question. It says, write another stanza. It wants us to come up with something we can add with our own example of imagery or personification. It wants us to write our own example. Okay, like it says, broad is a landscape filling a window. So this is imagery where it's discussing what the mountains look like when you look out the window. So it wants us to give another example of imagery and personification. So this is where we have to be very creative to answer. Yes, Muhammad, what can you ask?
In the last stanza, I command any attention to the horizon. I got one. A horizon like a beauty.
Okay, so with what a horizon like a beauty. If the horizon, so we
Yes.
could say, what if we say a beautiful horizon like newborn, like a newborn plant on a bright sunny morning on a hillside. This is imagery. There has to be details in your answer to give imagery. All right, Leanne, what can you add?
Say on normal days, I feel relaxed and hearing the ocean waves, like me and my mountain swim in the ocean.
I'm sorry, can you raise your voice? There's tapping behind you. I can't hear. Can you raise your voice and say it?
Yes, I said on normal days, I feel relaxing and hearing the ocean waves.
Okay, so
This is a and me and my mountain swim in the ocean.
okay. So this you're adding another stanza to the poem, but where is the imagery and where is the personification?
The imagery is hearing waves of sound, hearing ocean waves,
Okay,
and the personification, me and my mountain swim in the ocean.
okay, very good, excellent. So she said, I'm gonna go down and see if I can write this for you guys. 1 second. That's very good, Leanne. Did someone help you write that?
No, I swear no.
That's excellent. Very quick thinking as well. Excellent job. Okay, let's go down and I'm going to write her answer at the bottom for you. Leanne, you'll help me as I go to remember all of your words correctly, okay? I will paraphrase what you said to make it easy.
On normal days,
Go ahead. On normal days,
I feel relaxed.
1 second.
Okay.
On normal days, I relax by listening,
by listening to ocean waves.
listening to ocean waves. Okay.
And me and my mountains.
The mountains and I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Swim in the ocean together.
Swim in the ocean together. That's incredible. That's fantastic. So we have here, I relax by listening to the ocean waves. You can imagine someone relaxing while listening to the waves of the ocean. And here we have that the mountains are swimming in the ocean with the person. Okay, that's the personification. So amazing. You should consider writing poetry, Leanne. That's an excellent, excellent answer.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. I'll give you a minute to write that, and then we're going to go to the next page. Okay, guys. Sorry, we're going to turn now to page 297. Page 297. All right. On page 297, this is where you guys are getting the answers from, huh? Takes me too long to move it. All right. On page 297, we have 3 examples of sentences that have metaphors in them. So we're going to read the sentence, determine what the metaphor is, and what 2 things are being compared in our metaphor. Remember, a metaphor is a comparison of 2 things that are not alike without using the word like or as in the comparison. Okay? So please read number 1 for us. You don't need to raise your hand. I'm going to choose from the list. Jemana, how about you read number 1 for us? Hello, Jemana. Jada, how about you read number 1 for us?
Yes, Miss
Hello.
Amanda. Yes, Miss Amanda.
Okay, I called on you, but you didn't answer.
Sorry, I was getting just my pen.
Hey, Jemana, read number 1 for us.
On the days I feel best, I'm the Rocky Mountains.
Okay? What's the metaphor in that sentence?
Metaphor, I'm the Rocky Mountains.
That's right. The metaphor is I am the Rocky Mountain. What 2 things are we comparing?
What?
What 2 things are we comparing?
The Rocky Mountains
Yes?
and the days that she feels the best.
No? We're not comparing- what are we comparing the Rocky Mountains to?
Her.
That's right. The speaker, the person who's speaking. We're comparing the Rocky Mountains to the person who's speaking. Okay?
Mm.
I and the Rocky Mountains. So she's comparing herself to the mountain.
Mm.
Okay? Jada, can you read number 2 for us? Hello, Jada. Okay, Iad Adel. I'm sorry, Iad Tamer. Can you read number 2 for us? Hello, Iad.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Do you have the page, Iad?
I have the paper. Yes, I do. Yes. 297.
Okay, go ahead and read number 2 then, please.
Okay. On my worst day, I am Florida. The ocean tempting me away from the mainland.
Okay, what's our metaphor?
I am Florida.
Okay, and what 2 things are we comparing?
Him and Florida.
That's right, the speaker and Florida. That's correct, thank you.
Well,
All right, Sarah, can you read number 3, please?
okay. I rise into the air. My hair a mist against the blue of sky.
Okay, what's the metaphor?
The metaphor, my hair a mist.
That's right. And what two things is it comparing?
The hair and the mist.
That's right, very good. Comparing your hair to the mist. Excellent. Okay, all right. So let's move on to the last page for today. We'll come back and do those if we have time. I don't think we'll have time now, but maybe we can read them at the end of the next session. We did this page already. 1 second. That's it. All right, now I want you all to read the poem. Do you remember the poem that we read yesterday about the woman who was working in the factory and the daughter was sitting next, I'm sorry, on the sewing machine, and her daughter was sitting next to her? This
Yes.
poem is,
Yes.
it's called something Chinatown. 1 second. I'm getting the name for you. I want everybody, if you have your literature anthology book in front of you, I want you to open. Let me just open the poem for you. 1 second. Let's see if I can find it from yesterday's session. There it is. Okay. So let's look at it on the screen so you don't have to take time to go get your book. 12 hours every day, the needle on her sewing machine gobbles up the fabric, turning miles of cloth into pants and jackets, skirts and dresses. After supper, I sat beside my mother, listening to the hum of the motor, the soft chatter of the hungry needle. Sometimes I fall asleep beside her, the sound of her work, a lullaby. Okay? What details in our poem help us to think of what the theme is? Let's look at the poem. You can read it again. Let me enlarge it for you to make it easier for you to see. Okay? You can read it again. Looking at the poem, what details help us to come up with the theme? Okay, we only have 2 minutes left. For these 2 minutes, I'm going to leave you to think of what the details are that create the theme of our poem. When we come back in the next session, we're going to discuss this poem and what the theme of the poem is. So you are looking for the theme and you are going to tell me which details helped you understand what the theme was, okay? The meeting will run out now. Please read the poem and try to come up with the details that help you understand the theme. See you in the next meeting at 9:30. I'm going to leave the time for you to look, the last minute for you to look at the poem while the meeting runs out.
Bye, Miss Amanda.
I'll see you guys at 9:30.
Bye.